welcome back to In the House podcast with...
I'm Jenny Woon.
And Toni Singh. We have a really special guest for you today.
Super special.
We have Doris G from Remax Crest.
Yes.
In the house today joining us. And for those of you that are a part of the Metro Vancouver real estate market, you would know who Doris is. But for those of you that are listening and not in Vancouver, we'll give you a little brief intro. So Doris is a top producing realtor in Vancouver and surrounding areas. She's been in the business since 1988.
Yes, 1988.
Amazing. Seasoned veteran, top sales. And
Not a single wrinkle, by the way.
No, she looks amazing. She'll tell us about that later.
Okay.
Her secret.
Okay.
Her secret. And basically, it's such a treat for us to have her here. I guess we should get right into it. But we have a bunch of questions.
I want to know how Doris got started in the business.
Tell us about how you got started in the business.
How I got started in the business, I was working in a restaurant, used to look at the Real Estate Weekly every day. I looked at it because my parents used to buy and sell. And when they bought and sold, they used to buy high and sell low. And I couldn't figure out why. I hated realtors. So that was how I got started. And it wasn't to be a realtor. It was just to learn. And of course, back in those days, we didn't have the power of internet or all the different other sources out there. So I used to look at the Real Estate Weekly. I used to serve a lot of realtors. One of my big clienteles was at the restaurant was the Nordholms.
Oh, yeah.
So Nordholms was my Monday to Friday every day, got to know them well. When I graduated from school, I took the course, and because that was the only course I could take to learn about real estate, not to be a realtor. Trust me, I tried to buy a car, a Honda, just a normal Honda car. Do you think any salespeople would talk to me? I actually had the money to buy. Yeah, because I used to work every day, so I always had savings and stuff, and I wanted to buy a car. Didn't like salespeople too much.
Interesting.
So when I first started taking the course, the Nordholms would help me during the whole course while I used to study at the restaurant.
Okay.
So at that point, when I took the test, got 96 out of 100.
On your first exam. Okay.
She's an overachiever.
Right? Yeah.
Well, they were helpful. So they told me now I can be a realtor. I said, oh, no, I don't want to be a realtor at all. I just wanted to take the course. They go, oh, no, you have to be a realtor because you've always got the restaurant to fall behind. I said, no, I love the restaurant, which I did. I loved all the people that used to come into the restaurant. I used to talk to them all the time when it was so busy during the day. Some of the people wanted to talk to me. I'd say, come in the afternoon. I'll buy you a coffee. Don't tell my mom or dad.
So what was the name of the restaurant?
It was called Big Six. It was just a family restaurant.
Okay.
So all of us, whole family, worked there, but I worked there the most.
So didn't want to be in real estate sales, and then you kind of fell into it.
I fell into it because Nordholms actually convinced me to get in.
So then when you were convinced to get in by Nordholms, where did you, have you always been at Remax Crest?
No, I started off, their closest office was in New Westminster called Realty World in New
Realty
West.
World.
So I tried it for a month there, but I didn't like the owner. So I ended up moving to Metro Town, and I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
So when I was there, but Nordholms are the ones that, when I first got in, they actually gave me my first listing. Even though that they had a whole team of their own salespeople, they gave me a listing in Dunbar, brand new for $550.
That's a lot back in 1988.
And it was. And I said, who wants to live so far away? Because I didn't even know where Dunbar was. So
We were previously talking about chemistry and alignment. What kind of chemistry did you have with Nordholms to get that first listing with them and to have them believe in you so much?
I think it's because I served them for years and years. I knew everything. They knew, I guess I was just good with people. I mean, I didn't expect them to give me a listing. I didn't even ask them for a listing. They just gave me my first listing.
Well,
and
for those of you that don't personally know Doris, she's a very loving and compassionate person. She's very honest as well. It's probably that she has such a great personality, and you are somebody that is respectful, honest, and you always give back. So it's probably just because she's so awesome that they wanted you to have that listing.
Well, they did, and they did actually help me with a couple of other businesses later, but they did have their own team, which was fine. I mean, when I first joined Realty World, I didn't know anything better except to door knock.
Yeah.
I actually was a Girl Guide cookie selling at the restaurant. I used to sell raffle tickets all the time, and I was number one at school.
So she did have.
So you're used to asking for money and selling things.
And I used to go door to door prior to that too.
So at what point then in your career, when you were newly licensed and then you're actively started selling real estate?
Yes.
At what point for you did you have that realization that, you know what, this is what I meant to do? I want to do this.
Oh no, I didn't think
You
that.
never did?
I never thought that.
Okay.
The Nordholms told me, give it 2 years. You've always got the restaurant to fall back.
Okay.
So they told me 2 years. So I said, okay, I'll give myself 2 years. I honestly not know anything about sales.
Well, what happened in the 2 years then? Walk us through that as someone that was newly licensed. What 3 things, I guess, would you say helped you grow your business or become profitable?
So the first thing I would have said, because I remember back in the days when I started Realty World, a lot of them were the old veterinary realtors. They didn't believe in cell phones.
Oh,
Well, first thing I got was a big Motorola that was like a brick. You could hit somebody with it.
Yeah.
I got a pager. And I remember this one realtor named Dave said to me, you don't need a pager. It's not life-threatening in real estate. The doctors are life-threatening, right? You know, like I said, he just came in every day, and we used to have those telephone books where you pull off they wrote messages and they left it in your mailbox. So that's what I remember them doing. You just go in and get your messages.
And today we're an essential service.
I know. Oh my goodness. If you don't call, you've lost the business in that half an hour.
Okay, so you got tech involved. So you acquired technology.
Yes.
What other 2 things?
I think for me, because I knew nothing about real estate, like nothing to do with sales, I think it was my work ethics. I mean, when I was at the restaurant for 8 years, probably at that point 6 years, because I was still helping my parents at the restaurant, even though I first started real estate. So I was kind of always going back and helping them whenever I could. But I was at the restaurant every morning at 5:30 a.m., 7 days a week.
how many hours a day did you work then?
I would work at the restaurant 5:30 to 8, and then I would take a bus to school. And then after school, take a bus back to the restaurant and closed every night.
Wow.
And then Saturday, Sunday, I would open morning to closing. So I think I had the work ethics.
Oh, for sure.
So, a lot of people can't get up that early. And trust me, I'm not a fan always, but you just do it.
Something that you can't teach either.
You can't teach.
You cannot teach that.
I'm still waking up right now at 4:45, 4:50 to go to the gym Monday to Friday.
That's why her skin looks so great.
I don't know if it's to do with the gym, but
Well, okay, so you are a veteran top producer, and I'm curious, and you kind of touched on it earlier, but you've seen a lot of changes with technology and the industry over your last, 33 years in real estate?
yeah.
The question I want to ask is, in your opinion, would you say that it's more challenging to sell at a high level today than when you first started in the 80s, or is it about the same? Is it the same sales?
I would say it's, again, I don't think I would change anything if I had to start again. I mean, today, more, of course, all the younger generation is definitely big on the social media and asking for Google reviews, which I'm very bad at, just because it's time consuming. I mean, again, putting yourself up there on Facebook. There's days I haven't even been on Facebook. And if I am, it's only because I'm waiting for somebody, or I've already checked all my emails, or I've checked all my texts. I've talked to everybody I needed to talk to. It's just time. I mean, if I really wanted to make it a priority, I'd probably have to hire somebody.
So when you were newly licensed, I guess like earlier in your career, you also had a young family.
No.
In the 90s?
Yes, only in 90. I had Brandon in 95.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about, so in 95, you're selling real estate.
Yes.
And you're also trying to balance your family time.
So right before I even had Brandon, I hired a nanny.
Yeah.
So I started off, I did not know anything about hiring nannies at all, but I knew I grew up with nannies.
Okay.
So the reason is because I lost my mom when I was 6. So when I lost my mom, we had every babysitter in the world, and it wasn't consistent. So right there, my dad needed help because he used to work 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. So we had no choice. We didn't know who we were getting that day. So we just had so many people. So of course, if you want to be able to be successful, especially if you want to work, you need help. There's no choice. You have to have help.
That's good advice. There's a lot of local realtors as well that are currently asking that question. How do I produce at a higher level and still have important time for my family and myself? So do you have any advice, I guess, for that? So your advice would be help.
Oh, nobody can do it. It's like anything. If you wanted, again, going back to the social media, if you want that important everywhere you go and everything you do, you want on social media, you got to hire somebody because you can't do it yourself. Nobody has the time of day. Same thing with if you want to be able to maximize your work and be able to have quality time with your kids. Because if you're a full-time mom at home, you're cleaning all day, you're cooking all day, you're making breakfast, then lunch is coming, and then dinner's here. Right?
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
How does a day in the life of Doris G look like in one day?
Today's
it
life
looks
or
like
back when I had kids?
I want to know then and today.
Yeah, because I want to know what kind of habits you have and rituals that you practice to be very consistent in your business.
Well, no matter what, you have to get up early because if you start your day later, there's no way you could do everything you need to do. So I know when I was raising my kids, it was my time first thing in the morning was me getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, getting me ready, getting whatever I needed to get ready, got the kids ready, and then I never missed a day of driving them to school, raising all the kids, and picking them up every day at school. Yeah. So sometimes I'd get to school 10 minutes earlier to have a power nap. I'll be honest, I did work. Hey, got there extra 10 minutes, closed my eyes for 10 minutes. I tell you, it helps.
Actually, Doris did tell me one time I should nap in my car.
Oh,
I'm taking naps in my car.
Well, because the thing is that when the kids come and knock on your door, okay.
Yeah. And then was it back then a lot of, so you picked them up from school, go home, make dinner. Did you have to go back out on appointments or would you stay home?
I would never stay home.
Yeah, you'd have to go back out.
I was always out, but I always had a nanny. So my nanny was the ones that did all the prep for food, all the cleaning, all the laundry, all the things that you can't do. Because if you did that, you won't be able to do that. So my time was the kids, where I drove them to everything.
No, you were definitely, I feel like in our previous conversations, even you were definitely a supportive mom. You were there for really important events.
Or everything.
Yeah.
I never missed any of their hockey games, dance recitals. I never stayed for rehearsals. Like I'd watch hockey, but I was able to work because I was up on the top of the rink.
Yeah.
But when my daughter danced 7 days a week, I just dropped and left, came back, booked my appointments in between. If I was late, I'd call. And everybody knew I was a realtor. Everybody was fine. You make it work.
Yeah. So time blocking sounds like it's really important where you're dedicating certain hours, minutes to your kids.
Yes.
And you make it really clearly defined to your clients.
That's the most important is that I would drop everything for my kids. So if the appointment couldn't do it on my schedule, then it didn't happen.
That's great.
Because it's the reverse usually. Most agents are like, families come and relationships come second and their business comes first.
No, I was reverse. My family was first. My Brandon, who's now 6 years in real estate.
Yeah, he's a top producer now too.
Well, trust me, if you ask him at 14, I almost quit real estate because I had to go through some roller coasters with him. So but he didn't want me to quit because I challenged him. Did I not do everything I needed to do? And he basically could not even answer, and he didn't want me to quit.
He probably understands really a
Oh,
lot now
100%.
because he's in the business. He probably appreciates you even more than he ever has.
He works hard right now.
Yeah,
he's
he's very
home late every
successful.
night. He's working 7 days a week. He's good.
Do you guys ever have that conversation? Does he ever say,
Oh, he
Mom,
knows.
it's crazy?
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time. And he always says, "How do you do it?"
Well, what does your schedule look like then today? So as Doris G, I mean, you're selling a lot of homes each year. What does it look like today? Because now your kids are grown up.
So now I just, I'm not going crazy. Trust our business is hard work. There's no doubt, but I'm focused more on just work than with them because I'm not with them. Now my daughter just left to Turkey or Belgium first and Turkey. She's gone till the end of the year. So, but when she was home for the past year, there was a month and a half she wasn't home. She left to Turkey again, came back. But we did spend at least a couple of hours every night together.
So nice.
Yeah. And when she says, "Mom, are you going to be home?" I'd give her my schedule. We hang out for 2 hours.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And then everybody knows what's happening.
Yeah. And you know what? The thing is, I drop everything. Make,
Sounds like that's wealth.
Oh, it's so wealth.
yeah. No, because you can't get it back.
I think that's also why one of the reasons you've been so successful in your career because you've prioritized what fills your cup.
Yeah.
And your family is what fills your cup and brings you the most joy.
The one thing I learned when I first started Remax, Peter Dupuis, most amazing manager ever. And I think it's sometimes people have to have a mentor or look up on somebody. He was who set me off in life.
Okay.
I remember the first week he asked me, "How are you and Phil working together?" Because Phil wanted to work together and start off at Remax. Never worked with them in Realty World because Phil was only a year in Realty World. I was there for 2 years. And he convinced me to join to Remax. We wanted to join Bob Rennie, but he wanted us to wait for 3 months, and we couldn't. And sometimes when you're ready to move, you just move. And we end up going to the Burnaby office. Didn't care to be there, so we went to the new Westminster office. Peter Dupuis, after 1 week, sat us down on a boardroom, asked me, he asked me how it was going after 1 week. I said, "If you read me in the newspaper, I just murdered Phil."
So for the listeners that don't know, Phil Moore is Doris's life partner and business partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that week was a hard week because Phil, being a controller, coming out of 8 years in a real estate police force, having this expect people to read minds.
Yeah. Communication. It's about the communication.
Right? Oh, and that's 100%. And I think in our business, if you want a good business, if you want to do well, whether it's in family or real estate or anything, it is the communication. That's the key thing for anything. I find in any family of life, any personal life of husband and wife or anything, if you lack that, you lack a lot of things.
That's interesting.
Communication is number one because nobody's perfect. Like I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all do.
Yeah.
We do. We don't know. But it doesn't mean you're right or wrong. I think it's just understanding each other. You have a different way of doing something. I have a different way to doing it. It doesn't mean your way is right or my way is right. It's just we all have our own thing. But I think if we understand each other, and it wasn't easy for our relationship for all those years, but it's, he understands how I am and I understand him. We both let each other do our thing and we're good.
Yeah.
That's great.
How do you separate work and personal relationship?
I think at that point, because at our stage, we started off as partners. So because what makes Phil happy is doing what he likes to do.
Okay.
Right. And I think a lot of people would, not everybody wants that. They always want a lot of attention. I'm so self-independent. So for me, I'm happy because my clients make me happy. A lot of my clients are my friends. So that's another thing too.
Yeah.
So we just don't have enough time and day to do everything we want to do.
Yeah.
And, even the socialized part. But you do have to make time. If it's important to you, you got to make it. I learned that you have to if you lose the business, you're not going to win everything. You're not. You have to let it go. Some people don't like that. And if you have to take a break, I remember Peter Dupuis told me we were going on this cruise with this Remax at that time. We just started. And he always told me the business is always going to be there.
Right.
So you lose some, you got to go. And he taught me that.
Very wise advice. What would you recommend to is the most important thing for a realtor to be successful in terms of, like, what do you think it is if you had to pick one thing? What is the one thing a realtor would have to do in order to be successful?
Passion.
Passion.
Yeah, you have to love it. It doesn't matter what business you're in. I don't think it's just real estate. If you're doing this for real estate, realtors, they have to find something that they love to do. It doesn't matter what job you do. If you hate it the first hour, you're going to hate it. You're not going to do well. So I think it's passion. You have to. I love the business.
Yeah.
So probably I will work for the rest of my life. I actually love my clients.
Tell us a little bit more about your team structure, because you were mentioning Phil's in the business and Brandon's in the business. So
Brandon is independent.
Okay.
He has
his own clients.
He has his own clients. When he first started, he helped me do a lot of open houses, but he doesn't do any business for me.
Okay.
I help him. I still help him. When he gets stuck, he asks me to, check things out. I tell him not to rush at things. It's important that you do it right. And I motivate him, just because even at the end of the year of last year, even the last month he wanted to go snowboarding, I said, no, your top 1% could just drop in a day or two. So every
Mom
day,
making him feel guilty.
and I did.
Didn't you tell him to told him to beat you?
I did.
Right?
I did.
That was motivation.
I told him, he goes, Mom, I think I got so. How many do you have? I said, yeah, I want you to beat me. Go ahead and beat me. It's okay. Because he really works hard. He literally every day dedicates phoning at least a couple of hours a day.
Wow.
Yes. Whereas all my clients is all pass, and I don't work hard like he does, because my client is all repeat referral.
But you did have to when you were
of
starting
course.
out. Yeah.
Hours and hours and hours a day, 7 days a week, knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Did he want to do something different before going into real estate? Like, did he have a totally different career idea?
He was one of my kids that was so high maintenance, probably the most high maintenance out of 3 kids. But I could never tell him what to do.
Okay.
So
that's perfect.
I could never. So he chose to get into real estate on his own. But he did work for a company called ACN, which is a marketing where it's like a pyramid. I said, if you could sell that, you can sell anything.
What's the biggest mistake that you've seen realtors make in terms of growing their business?
Organization would be one. I think the biggest mistake, I think a lot of them, they're going to find out later, because a lot of agents don't know how to write contracts.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of contracts, especially in this multiple period. The contracts are very sloppy written, like super sloppy written. So I think if something goes wrong in the future, it's going
to bite them.
Yes. So they better, and I don't know if they know that they're not writing a good contract, but I do teach some of them when I deal with them, saying,
There she is, always giving back, always giving back.
Because you want them to do well. It's not, I don't know if they really know. I mean, even though we have all these courses, a real estate board, they teach you the basic, but you don't know until you really are in it.
Yes.
So it's we're all here to help each other. That's the main goal.
What do you like so much about Remax? I mean, you've been there for 31 years then?
I like the name brand. I like it that if I take your $100,000, it's not going to run away. That company's not going to fall and run away.
Yeah.
I like that. I could, there's a lot of companies out there
where they
smaller.
might fold and belly up.
Yeah, and what happens if the manager takes all the money or anything? then what happens? We
That's
never
interesting.
we
I
never
never heard
hear
someone say
what
that.
happens after.
Yeah.
We never hear what happens because it's happened.
Yeah.
So really, what happens? Who's bailing? What happens? I'm sure there's
guess-
lawsuits galore if you want to dig deeper.
I just never think about that.
I've
seen it
somebody's
on
giving you
the-
$100,000.
I've seen it on the lawyer side.
Like a notary,
Yeah.
Yeah.
disappearing with it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Peter Dupuis selling something in Hawaii and Trump's building.
Oh,
And
shoot.
lawyer ran away with all the money. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's a good life lesson.
Yeah, you know, I
makes
think
sense.
that's the big risk, the reason. Brandon and Phil want to go to another company, they're fine.
So are you and Phil a team, or are you also individual?
We're individual as the real estate board. We're a team under RE/MAX because they put us there. It's not like we chose to do it. It's just because we co-list everything. But under the real estate board, we're under individual.
Individual.
Yeah. Yeah. And we only have one assistant.
Okay.
So, and she does mostly admin. She is full-time licensed, worked with us over 10 years, knows the business, but she has a little one, doesn't want to work past 5, doesn't want to work weekends.
Okay.
So when you hire me, you get me.
Your clients must love that.
So do you look at your goals every year and change it based on market conditions, or maybe the balance you want to have in your life? How do you set up yourself for success for the following year?
I'll be honest with you, I don't.
I know, this is what's so funny about Doris. It's like you have so much abundance and so much success, but you're unattached to it.
I don't look at saying I have to sell how many. I don't look at how much I have to do. I just
just
go
love
with the
it,
flow
too.
because I do it because I do it because I love it.
So this speaks to the passion.
I couldn't do it if I didn't like it. I mean, everybody, my clients, if I make them happy, and I honestly, you can't make everybody happy. You're going to get clients that you do everything for and they still aren't happy. You're going to get that. But then I got that at the restaurant too, where somebody would say the steak was overcooked or something. You're always going to have those kind of people.
So when that happens, how do you deal with those clients?
If I communicate
Pass it on to
with them.
Phil.
No, actually, he actually can't handle the stress. I'm the one that's hands-on on most of the clients on everything. You just have to let them breathe. And if it doesn't work, you let it go. I mean, it's very rare that I actually have to cancel a listing. But I know sometimes you can't convince, like I'm just dealing with somebody on a separation. You have to let them breathe, right? And you have to let them, you can't push them. You have to know when to step back. I think the important thing is to understand people. I know we're in the business, we're almost like counselors every day,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So, but if you don't learn to listen to the client, you're not going to do a good job. Because a lot of people, they like to always talk, but they don't listen.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is that I actually do listen. You have to be patient. A lot of people aren't patient. I mean, Phil is not a patient person. So if it was, so he knows that he kind of he can trust me to take care of everything because I do have that patient. And I'll work all night if I have to. So
You guys sound like a really good team.
he's very fortunate.
Sorry, Phil. Oh, man. I hope he listens to this after, and Brandon too. What's the biggest advice you would give to your realtor colleagues to set them up for success?
Ask for help if you need it. Ask anybody. I'm there if they need me. I mean, if they ask me, I'm happy to help them. I know that sometimes people do call us instead of their managers, right? And but if I can't answer it, I have to tell them to. And Phil's good at looking at all the help if he can't.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't answer something you don't know. So if you don't know, then definitely ask for the next superior. Phil's always asking, especially when we're at these duels. You have a client, you have a builder, you listed a lot, and you have a builder that wants to buy that lot. But of course, you just did business with them.
Yeah.
And then you can't just pass it to another agent because
Right.
now you've got a relationship That part is tough.
It is tough for you guys.
It's very tough because you know how many people we work with.
I encounter that a lot too.
Oh
with
my God.
with developments.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
And how do you do it? And that part is so. I mean, I get why they
Don't they
do
recommend
this.
double recusal?
I know, but it's
kidding.
just sometimes that part is not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I know why the reasons for it, but it's tough. I mean, even if you're passing it on completely stranger and trying to be fair, it's still hard.
Right. So all the like the non-dual, all these changes occurred probably, I'd say, within the last 10 years. So would you say that they're for the better because
It's for the better because this way, but it's still going to have some agents that are not doing it the right way. There's a handful of them, and I'm not going to name anybody, but I'm just saying they're still doing it that way. And for us, we always tell them that you got to get an agent. But the other part where, builders,
Yeah.
do you have any lots? If I did, I couldn't tell you about it. So
I'm sure Phil talks about the political side and the bureaucracy that happens and changes that are rules that are being adopted. So what's one thing that you and him are advocates for that really want change?
change. I think it'd be more on his side because he's always having other agents ask him. And everybody thinks he's God and can make these changes.
Yeah.
Which
What does he want to see? Like, what kind of change does he want to see? Does he talk about it ever?
But I think Phil's good at wanting to help the realtors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really seen that from him too.
Yeah, he's good on that. If there's something he could do or any help and stuff, he's good that way. The one thing is he's very good at helping the realtors.
Do you think that more education would help the industry or hands-on experience?
I think hands-on, definitely hands-on. So many people hate taking the courses, period, because you have to take the courses and then you have to have it before your license come up. And it's like, sometimes you can't even get in.
Yeah.
So I think that is not a good one because people don't necessarily, and it's just like when you're a new agent, now you got to take all these things and they think it's a lot. And I think, well, you're investing in a business. What's the difference? It's like a realtor. Well, you're talking about somebody joining the business now. I mean, they're always complaining of all the expenses. Well, actually, if you open a restaurant or something up, it's going to cost you way more because you've got to first lease the place. You got to buy all the equipment. You've got to buy all the food. You've got to buy get all the staff. That's a lot more money than real estate. Whereas a lot of people complain about how much money they have to spend in real estate. Up front. You could get 4 signs instead of 40 signs. It's your control.
It's more flexible for sure.
Right? If you're going to go and get 20 signs, then you make sure you're going to get 20 business to put up those signs.
Do you think that your experience in the restaurant business actually helped with your real estate career for the planning and organization?
Oh, 100%. I think it's the work skill because the problem is it's not easy for everybody to work every day. And, in our business, it's almost like a 24/7 type thing. And, these days, if you don't pick up that phone call, they're going to the next agent. And that's the thing. It's all about that. You got to be prompt. And you know how many emails we can get on a daily basis. You got to reply back. You have to reply back. If you don't, they're on the next agent. There's enough agents out there that it's going to.
Talking about enough agents, your sister's also in the business. I just remembered. So what if you have like a family friend that want to use you? How do you work out if they're using you or your sister?
And we've had that. My mom usually always passes it on to my sister, Sophie. Yeah, because most of the family's gone to her. So, which is fine because I don't care.
You have your own clients anyhow from way back when.
Yeah, she gets the majority of it just because.
She's the baby sister?
I guess so. But no, it doesn't matter. Anyways, it's just my mom seems to give it to her, whatever, but it doesn't matter. It never bothered because we all have our own business. So,
yeah.
My mom actually tries to help my son more now. Aww. Right? Yeah. But he's so good with a lot of his age group too.
Yeah.
So
how old is he?
He's 26, just turned 26.
He's a young gun.
So are there other, is he working with the buyers that he's working with? They're all in their 20s, late 20s?
But a lot of them happen to be even my clients' kids. He's now got one of my clients. 3 boys. They got a total of 4. He sold them 3 condos now.
Amazing.
All within the last 2 years. So and a lot of them is because of that reason. I had a client I just sold, and he goes, yeah, we weren't sure. Should we call you or Brandon? I said, well, if you want to buy, you can call him if you like.
I'll take
That was
listing.
good advice. Yeah. How do you?
What kind of referral fee, if you give anything, to the client who's referring you business?
I think it depends based on what they're expecting. I mean, some of them, they actually want a good amount. We have to disclose if you're going to give any cash, especially if it's not a gift. But usually it's either gift cards or restaurants or whatever it is. It's usually gift cards.
Yeah.
If it's cash, it's because they actually purposely want cash. A check that they have to. I think it all depends on each client.
What
if they're referring.
Yeah, what's a reasonable amount that you feel you're not going to be resentful of that client?
Oh, no. One of my hairdressers gave me a referral to one of his clients last year when I went to get my haircut, which is only once a year. I gave her $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Doris would never feel resentful
no.
because you're all about love and help.
No, I want to give them something's fair, but at the same time, what's fair? Because some of them would like 25%. Some of them want 50. If it's a client that I've done more than so many businesses, I have no problem giving them back that.
The 25%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's on a repeat, if it's something that they've asked for and they want it, I will, I guess every situation's different. Some of them, you work so hard and it's not going to happen.
Not worth it.
Everybody wants to cut, but when you actually have to do our business, you know how hard it is. Our business is not easy. Yeah, sure. Some deals might go easier, but some of them, even my son says, I don't know if it's worth all this stress.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. It's hard on you when some of this, what you go through. But again, you have to, I think in each deal, you have to treat them differently.
It's case by case.
Yeah.
For sure. How do you guys feel? I'm just curious. This is a bit off topic, but how do you feel about part-time realtors?
Well, they won't know the business. So I think part-time generally gets their family, friends. But if you yourself wasn't a realtor and you were hiring, I think you'd want somebody who knows what they're doing.
100%.
It's your biggest investment, whether you're buying or selling, it's your biggest investment. So they've got to protect you. They've got to make sure that they do everything that it doesn't haunt you later. It can.
And the reason I bring it up is because in a market like we're having now, it's a hot market. A lot of people that do not have their license want to get in because they think they're going to make a lot of money or what have you. And I think we've all been in the industry for a while now. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because a lot of the realtors that I know are poor.
It's their work ethics because honestly, if you even compare it with my son, it's not because we've given him anything. It was up to him. He had to put in the hours and time and the passion. He couldn't have done it. I don't help him. I don't tell him what to do. I don't schedule his appointments. I don't tell him. He would never listen to me. I'm his mother. He would never.
Yeah.
If he wants my advice, he will ask for it and I would give him my advice. And he does. But when he doesn't, trust me, you're going to learn raising your kids. It doesn't matter. You do everything for your kids. They're not going to listen to you.
Nope.
They'll listen to Jenny, but they won't listen to you.
They just want to do what they want to do.
Yes.
I'm already seeing it and they're so young.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They'll always listen to somebody else, but they don't listen to you personally. So you have to let them be. But it was, again, Brandon's a newer realtor. It was his choice to work 7 days a week. It was his choice to give up everything he does. But he was still continuing to play hockey when he could. But then, of course, pandemic happened, right? But he would be playing hockey at 10 or 11 o'clock at night after all day working. So,
what's your definition of wealth?
Happiness, health. Health is number one.
And what kinds of things do you do to maintain your health and produce at a high level? I know, but I'm asking because Jenny asked why your skin looks so fabulous. And I think it's in direct correlation with what you'll say.
I juice every day.
Juice every day. Like basically like in a blender and you're
Not
drinking
in a
juice?
blender, in a juicer.
Greens.
Oh, okay. So you're drinking juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
That's your morning.
Kale, everything. Cucumbers, celery, you name it, everything.
Yeah.
I have a lot of food allergies, so people used to thought I would starve. Are you kidding me? You replace it with everything else. But no, juicing definitely. I go to the gym Monday to Friday. I don't work hard at the gym. I just go to maintain. Trust me, I'm not like Julia and Valley or anything like that. Totally.
Well, it's a
not.
good outlet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go for group training. I have a trainer. They tell me what to do and I do it. I don't always like it, but I do it. So I go there every morning at 5:30 a.m. Monday to Friday.
Good routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And good habits too.
Yeah. Well, I have my coffee before, but
Well, I guess then to end off, do you have any more questions?
Just one more
George?
question.
Yeah.
I think this is often asked from us is, when does someone bring in an assistant?
you should always have an assistant. You should always have it. I remember again when I first started at Remax. Again, same thing. They told me and Phil didn't have any money, and he told us to hire an assistant
Oh, wow.
right at the beginning.
How did that work then? So you just
We
did
just
it?
hired an assistant. We just found it.
my.
We didn't even know anything about hiring an assistant. We'd never hired anybody before.
Wow.
Yes, that was the very first day.
How did you pay this assistant then? It was motivation, yeah?
I guess so.
They eat first, and then Doris and Phil eat last.
Yeah, that was the very first thing he told us. I remember we had to hire an assistant. Faye Wilson. Yeah, we hired her right away. We didn't even know how to pay her. We didn't even know how much to pay her. We
Don't
didn't
tell
know
her
anything.
that.
But
Would you pay them salary or commission or both?
I think it all depends on who you hire because it depends what they're willing to do. I think you hire them based on what they're capable of. If they're wanting to be licensed assistant but also sell, that's a whole totally. Whereas a lot of my assistants, in the past, I've had them where they sold, but for years I haven't. They're more just helping me run around, admin, picking up keys, opening doors, putting up a sold sticker or anything like that. Things that you don't have to be doing.
That's right.
Right. So, but again, I've had the others where they did sell, but that was in the past. Now mine, again, my team's not big. It's only me and Phil, and Phil works how much. So,
And your assistant, you said, right? You have one assistant?
one assistant that doesn't sell.
Wow.
So what do you see the trend happening right now with your sellers? Because it's hot right now. Are they wanting to max out on what they can get for their home? Are they staying put because they don't have a place to move to? What?
I have both. They all want to, if they want to move, they're going to move in time. But it makes no difference whether they do it in this high time or in a downtime. It's just when they're ready. And it's like anybody. All of a sudden, somebody sells when the market's different. It's because they're ready now.
Yeah.
It
Case
wasn't-
by case scenario too, and their motivation.
Because there's lots of people that want to do things, but they're not always ready, right? And by the time they're ready, the market's different. But it also works when they're buying. The market's different too.
Right.
So as
It's
long as
all
they're doing
relative.
it, as long as they're doing it within the same time, they won't be out of the market.
I've had 2 clients in the last week and a half want to make a move to a larger home. These people have owned their detached properties for a while.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of equity in the land.
Yeah.
And because what they want to purchase in is it's quite a higher market though, very highly competitive, even though they're going to get a great price on the sale of their detached property as well. A couple of those clients have actually decided to build right on their lot and pull the equity from the land.
Yeah. Well, if they are capable of doing it,
Yeah.
they've got to go through the whole building, the permits, the whole thing. If they have the patience and they have the funds to do it, why not?
Yeah, I think it can be a good option for some people.
It could be, but it doesn't always work that way.
No, it doesn't.
You know that it can go the other way.
For sure. We have some fun rapid fire questions for you.
So first question, what's one dream or bucket list item you want to check off this year?
Oh, this year?
Or I guess in the years to come?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no bucket list. I just do whatever I want to do.
She's joyful every day.
I am.
Okay. What is your favorite what is your favorite genre of music, or what music pumps you up?
I have no favorite music.
No?
No.
You don't discriminate?
No. I like everything. No.
Okay.
I want to know what's one hobby that maybe our listeners or we would want to know. I want to know a hobby that you have.
Hang out with people I like.
Yeah.
What do you like to do with them?
Nothing.
Just like sit around and
Good
chat?
conversations?
Yes.
Okay.
Like even just talking to people or hanging out with friends. I mean, number one, my kids were the first, right? That was my thing. Just even spending an hour with them, eating.
Yeah.
Brandon, he likes us, if we are going to eat together, he wants to eat together, right? And that's what we like, and we laugh. I hung out with my daughter, and our thing was watching Grey's Anatomy. So we love that, and we love repeating it. She'd love to be a doctor, but doesn't want to be going to school forever.
Yeah.
She loves all that, and watching the drama and the Grey's Anatomy and eating fruit all night. Like we eat, all kinds of berries or whatever. So
So those things really fill you up.
that's me, because I like that thing.
Yeah, because you didn't grow up. Your mom passed away at 6 years old. So was it your dad that
Worked all the
spent
time.
a lot? Okay,
Raised my two sisters.
okay,
Right.
So
And
you love
then
that.
we had a baby brother that the reason my mom passed away was because my brother, at birth, having the baby.
wow.
Yeah. So 1 minute she was going to the hospital, next minute I was seeing her at the funeral. So,
wow.
yeah. So it was one of those things that I think I learned to be self-independent. So I think that makes a huge difference. A lot of people cannot be independent. Me, family's number one. No matter what, it's still going to be. It's not about. I mean, my daughter would love me to hang out with her in Turkey right now, but I'm not going there.
No. So family and time with people that you care about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's important. This is a fun one because you're so healthy. What's your biggest or favorite junk food splurge? Do you eat junk food?
Yeah, I do. Chips, probably.
Chips? Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I don't eat a lot of it, but if I do, yeah, it could be French fries or chips or something with ketchup or.
All right.
Yeah. I don't do it often, but I do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the secret to living a long and happy, vibrant life.
Is
doing
it green
the things,
juice and junk food?
well, doing the things you want to do.
Well,
Doing the things that what you wanna
you have
do.
to do it. I mean, Phil loves doing his steps right now, and that's what he has to do every day. And that's not my passion. I did do it in the beginning when we had that beginning of the stage of pandemic, but no, I had enough of it. I don't care to do it. I don't mind going with you, and we'll do it one day, but not every day. Right?
Yeah. A one-off.
Right. So
All right. Well,
Very last question.
Yeah.
Where can our audience find you?
Burnaby.
at the Whole Foods
so
in
you're
Burnaby.
resident in Burnaby.
It's true. At Whole Foods,
Do you have
always.
any social media handles or a website?
I have websites and social media, but I'm honestly not the best on all of that. But if they want to get them, they just phone me.
Yeah.
Doris
She'll pick
G.
up her phone.
Pick up your phone or text me. And call. I mean, again,
So it's so simple, super simple. Just pick up the phone.
why
That's
not?
it, right?
Yeah, and if I'm busy at that moment, I'll call them when I'm done.
Yeah.
I always make time for people if they need me.
Yeah. And you always want to see people succeed.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's not about me. It's about me making everybody happy. That's what it's all about.
That's why she's so successful,
Yeah.
folks.
No.
Well, Doris, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.